Welcome back to the channel. What if I told you that talent and IQ aren't the biggest predictors of success? That's right. Today, we're exploring the power of grit and how to cultivate it, based on the groundbreaking book, Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. First, let's talk about how true grit develops. Dr. Duckworth's family lives by the hard thing rule. 1. Everyone chooses one challenging pursuit. 2. No quitting on a bad day, only at designated points. And 3. You commit for a set period. This rule normalizes struggle, teaches persistence, and builds resilience. Here are some great examples for you to try. For academics, commit to a challenging math competition team for the school year. Even when the problems seem impossible, take on a year-long independent research project and see it through to completion. Join debate team and stick through the entire competitive season, win or lose. For musicians, select a challenging piece to learn on an instrument and practice it daily for 3 months, and even when you hit frustrating plateaus. Commit to auditioning for all-state orchestra and preparing diligently, regardless of the outcome. For anyone interested in personal growth, choose a fear to confront, like public speaking, and commit to joining a club that requires it for a semester. Set a goal to learn a new language and practice consistently for 6 months, even when progress feels slow. Thinking about community service. Start a service project and commit to running it for a full school year, even when logistics get complicated. Or if that's intimidating, join a service organization like Key Club and commit to volunteering consistently, even when your schedule gets busy. Here's the counterintuitive truth. Sustainable grit actually means strategically giving about 80%. This connects directly to what Dr. Duckworth calls choosing easy. By operating at 80% capacity, you have the mental space to break big goals into manageable steps. You're not so exhausted by everything feeling impossible. Dr. Duckworth discovered this when studying national spelling bee champions. The kids who won weren't the ones who studied until they collapsed. They were the ones who studied consistently at a sustainable pace. For a high schooler, this combination looks like breaking a big research paper into smaller daily tasks, choosing easy while working at a steady pace rather than pulling all-nighters, the 80% rule. Starting with easier homework to build momentum and tackling harder assignments when you're in a flow. For a college student, chunking complex projects into manageable daily tasks instead of marathon sessions. Attending office hours regularly rather than desperately cramming before exams. This approach allows you to sustain motivation over months and years, maintain a life outside your pursuit, and avoid costly burnout and have reserves for when you really need to push. Dr. Duckworth's therapist banned her from using the word can't. This word undermines motivation by framing challenges as insurmountable and reinforcing this fixed mindset. Replacing I can't do calculus with something like how can I improve at calculus shifts you into a proactive problem-solving stance. So what does it mean to actually be gritty? Dr. Duckworth identifies 4 key traits. 1. Interest. Developing a genuine fascination with your pursuits. How to build it? Explore different aspects of your field. If you're into music, try composing, not just performing. Ask what-if questions constantly. 2. Practice. Committing to consistent, deliberate skill building. How to build it? Set specific improvement goals, not just time goals. Record yourself to track progress and send feedback actively, even when it stings. 3. Purpose. Connecting your efforts to helping others. How to build it? Ask yourself who benefits from your skills. A pianist brings joy, a scientist solves problems, an athlete inspires others. Write down your bigger why. And finally, 4, hope. Believing in your ability to improve and persevere. And how do you build this? Keep a small wins journal. When you face setbacks, write down what you learned. Remind yourself your ability to grow with effort. Here's crucial context. Grit isn't about stubbornness. Dr. Duckworth emphasizes that gritty people do pivot. They just don't do it on bad days. They just don't quit. Grit isn't suffering for suffering's sake. It's persisting towards goals that genuinely matter to you. Grit isn't ignoring feedback. The grittiest people actually actively seek feedback to improve. Even the grittiest people face challenges. When Dr. Duckworth studied West Point cadets, she found that those who survived Beast Barracks, the grueling first summer, weren't necessarily the strongest or smartest. They were the ones with clear personal reasons for being there. To stay motivated like they did, set clear, attainable milestone goals, celebrate small wins along the way, and surround yourself with supportive people who share your values. Reframe your failures as data for improvement instead of undermining your value. But not everyone agrees that grit is built. Here's a few other perspectives. David Goggins, an ex-Navy SEAL and ultra athlete, swears by total discomfort. His 40% rule says that when you think you're done, you've only hit about 40%. He'd argue that true grit comes from pushing yourself past this mental stopping point. This contrasts with Duckworth's sustainable 80% approach. While she absolutely values perseverance, her research suggests that an all-out effort all the time can lead to burnout. Another view, popular among entrepreneurs, focuses on the role of external motivation and accountability. This can include techniques such as publicly committing to goals, using financial incentives, or relying on a team to hold you accountable. The idea is that by raising the stakes and involving others, you'll be more likely to push through challenges. Alex Hormozy sees grit through systems and accountability. He believes that motivation is unreliable. Instead, create structures where failing is more painful than finishing. His idea, engineer your environment so that success becomes your easiest option. Andrew Huberman brings in neuroscience. He focuses on protocols like cold exposure, breathing, and dopamine management, not mindsets. Grit, Huberman, is neurochemistry, not just character. And Carol Dweck adds to the growth mindset, the belief that ability grows with effort. Her work complements Duckworth's, reshaping how we interpret challenges, not just avoiding them. Each of these voices emphasizes something different: discomfort, structure, biology, mindset, but they all point to the same truth. Resilience can be built. The key here, find your balance. Push your limits, but not to exhaustion. Build systems, but stay connected to your purpose. Work hard and recover strategically. By integrating these diverse insights and finding what works best for you, you can pave your own unique path to building your authentic, sustainable grit. Bringing it back home to grit, the formula, which for many may be a better vantage point for most people trying to find motivation to start versus the harder to embrace hustle-style culture approach. Remember, grit is never about struggling. It's about persisting despite the struggle. 3 more insights. 1, grit is contagious. Research shows that when one team member displays grit, others unconsciously match that energy. 2, grit is malleable. Brain scans show that neural pathways associated with perseverance literally strengthen with practice. 3, grit beats talent. In every field Duckworth studied, from sales to teaching to military training, grit predicted success better than talent or IQ. To bring it home, grit isn't just for Olympians and CEOs. It's a skill that we can all develop, no matter our starting point. By implementing the hard thing rule, operating at a sustainable 80%, and consciously cultivating 4 traits of gritty people, we can all become our grittiest selves. For more insights, definitely check out Grit by Angela Duckworth. Just remember that there are 2 versions of the book with one aim for younger readers. Don't be confused when searching. Lastly, if you only learn one thing from this video, let me leave you with this. Remember, consistency beats intensity. Let me say that again to let it sink in. Remember, consistency beats intensity. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who could use a boost and a little bit more grit. Thanks for watching, and keep persisting. Thank you very much.